its growth. Every business means growth. Business means growth. This is what always considered. Now, what we say in Bollywood, the show must go on. The same way, in similar manner, every business must grow. Without growth, there won't be any business surviving in the market. And with your discussion among your friends or the news articles you go through, magazines you read, you must have seen that there used to be many big companies who were in garment sector, automobile sector, or for that sake any other business sector, which once upon a time they used to be at their top. Now they are nowhere. Nowhere means their presence in the market is not even in count of 1%. So why it happens to them? Perhaps some uncontrollable factors like technology changes, social changes, or political changes have made them to go out of market. Now, when it comes to performance management of entire organization, and when it comes to entire organization, every individual do have one certain role to perform. He is holding one designation, having roles and responsibilities, jobs and responsibilities. His work includes certain descriptions, and when in reality, in a rational manner, he is performing certain things, accomplishing certain tasks, that needs to be measured by his supervisors, by his seniors, and what was supposed to achieve and what is achieved by an individual employee needs to be taken into count. So that way performance evaluation do have certain parameters. Based on those parameters, once in a year, once in a 6 month, half yearly, performance evaluation is measured. And for that matter, there are written methods, there are observation methods, there are certain calculations done for an individual also. So we will be looking into today performance evaluation methods or the task of performance evaluation completed for an individual. Now this is relevant with performance evaluation definition, or what exactly meant by performance evaluation. What it is said here, the systematic review and evaluation of job performance as well as the provision of performance feedback. Provision of performance feedback for the employees' assigned duties and responsibilities. Assigned duties and responsibilities. Being employee of an XYZ organization, if I am working, it's not that because I wish to work, I am working. I am assigned certain duties, I am given certain responsibilities, and I am about to or supposed to complete them. Just because I want to start work at 7 o'clock, no. Just because I want to start at 9 o'clock, no. Those all things are having certain time duration, time limit. Within stipulated time period, certain tasks, certain projects, certain responsibilities are required to be completed. So this is what meant by performance evaluation. Now, what is the philosophy behind the act of performance evaluation? Setting individual objectives and strategies. As an individual, if I am working for a territory as a frontline sales representative, frontline executive, marketing executive, or working in office and having certain responsibilities, assessing the progress of the objectives and strategies. What is said in first philosophy? Setting individual objectives and strategies, and all individual objectives and strategies need to be assessed, the progress of objectives and strategies, conducting a comprehensive evaluation of performance. What will happen without performance evaluation? Once in a year, if my performance is not getting evaluated, I won't be knowing, I will not be able to judge myself if I am doing well or I am doing average or I am doing bad. And that way, I will keep myself in dilemma or in puzzle if I am doing good according to company's expectations, above expectations or below expectations. So that way it won't be a fair game on my part. Who and when evaluate performance? Who evaluate performance and when evaluate performance? Performance is evaluated by immediate supervisor. Now, in case of immediate supervisor, how performance is evaluated? It is quite possible in today's corporate world, all individual employees are given weekly, fortnightly, and monthly target also. If you are considering a shopping mall as an example, they do have unit wise target of individual floor or a particular point where once the sales executive is assigned to attend customers. Where what happens when it comes to immediate supervisor, he is getting report on daily basis, weekly basis, how much one individual, his junior, is doing. And based on those weekly, fortnightly, and monthly reports, his immediate senior comes to know if the frontline people, employees working at frontline level, are doing good or not. Now, in that situation, immediate supervisor, based on his past experience, based on strategies company asking him to implement, suggest, ask, warn his juniors, if you are performing below expectations, it's better you come up or bring more results. This is what immediate supervisor is doing on frequently and fortnightly and monthly basis. Higher management. Higher management comes to know about one individual's performance or team performance on monthly, quarterly, half yearly, and yearly sales meeting, or meeting in that sense, where not necessarily only sales department is giving their presentation and getting assessed. Higher management also conduct meeting of all their employees working in HR, finance, account, sales, advertising, manufacturing, based on which company they are working in. Self appraisal. As an individual, I know if I am doing well or not. I am the first person who comes to know what I am doing. Peers or co-workers. It's quite possible that I am the employee who's working in my company for last 3 years, and there are another two, another three, four who are working for last 6 months, last 2, 3 months, and being the immediate senior to them as a co-worker, I keep on guiding them and asking them to be on target. Evaluation teams. Evaluation teams mostly consist of HR personnel, customers, and 360-degree appraisals. They are the evaluator of performance. Evaluation will be completed on a calendar year basis. This is what done by higher management and evaluation teams. When it comes to immediate supervisor or self appraisal, frequent evaluation, not necessarily yearly basis, can be done. Evaluations report must be submitted to HR for salary or promotion recommendation. Now, why performance evaluation is a necessary task? What it brings us? Recognize excellence. How well I am doing. When a person is doing excellent job, he should get recognition, rewarded, motivated, and his success story should be shared to all his colleagues or co-workers, and to lower level management, to middle management, and top management also. Now, what happens when recognition to one excellent employee excellently performing employee is done, that individual person, that individual employee get motivated, and the way he is working becomes a guiding tool for those all who are not performing. When I am not doing well on my own, I have to follow others who are doing well. Very simple thing. Provide rationale for evaluation decisions. Identify performance areas needing improvement. Even if anybody is doing excellent, even anyone is doing good, or anyone is doing average, there are enough chances for improvement. Every other individual working in open territory, working in closed walls, working in HR, account, finance, manufacturing, there are certain sectors where improvement is needed, and that improvement we can bring because of performance evaluation. Identify areas of general management development training. What type of training could be given to employees so that their performance will become better? Providing appropriate learning and development opportunities. Every other employee want opportunity to develop himself, his knowledge, his skill, his attitude. These all things matters a lot as an employee when he is performing his job. How performance is evaluated, what process exactly followed. This is one ideal process what I am explaining you. It's not necessary that every other organization do have the same evaluation process. There are 5 steps in evaluation: manager notification, initial meeting, supervisor preparation, final meeting, evaluation document sent to HR. Our immediate senior will notify us, will have initial first meeting with us. Then supervisor or evaluator will do its preparation. They will have final meeting, next meeting, and all the evaluation will be done on a document, and that document will be sent to HR. This is one sample form. Please look at it carefully. All students, you are looking at the form shown in the PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, 1 minute. Here, at the top, it is mentioned if the employee is an probation or permanent. The next point or the next designation given is administrator, manager, or supervisor. They are the people who are senior to the employee whose performance is getting evaluated. Here, name of the employee will be mentioned. His classification, class C, class B, class A, which category of employee he belongs to. Then review period, first 6 months or entire year from 1st April 2000, say for example 20 to 31st March 2021. That way. Now date due is January 15th. For example, here it is mentioned. What all are the evaluation keys? Here O, M, NI, U, and NA dash or oblique O. O means outstanding. M means meets expectations. NI needs improvement. Unsatisfactory, not applicable or observed. Certain things may not be applicable to an employee because of his nature of job. Now, performance area and criteria in teamwork works to achieve cross-unit objectives in support of institutional efforts. If he is doing well in that particular sector or not, it is measured. Outstanding, meets expectations, or needs improvement. Contributes supportive attitudes and behaviors toward the organization and its goals. Works to establish and maintain cooperative and productive relationship. Consistently supports, motivates, and encourages staff in work relationship. These all things matters a lot when you are doing teamwork. Here teamwork as a criteria is very much important. Now, based on all these things, a comment will be mentioned either by administrator or supervisor. Now, there are few other criteria also: leadership, learning outcomes, planning and review. These all things are other criteria. Based on performance review, an objective action plan will be designed wherein employee name and date is mentioned. Major performance objective must be related to district and department, attainable and reasonable, realistic and measurable. This particular objective plan is shared with employee by his supervisor or administrator. Now, these all will be objectives. Which objectives he is supposed to achieve? If they are reasonable, measurable and realistic, what timeline will be given to him? What objective he is supposed to complete? These all things are given to employee. Now, next part is planning and evaluation life cycle. Although the PPT is in a short wording, I will explain you. This one is phase 1, planning. Planning happens in first 1 and 2 months. Then phase 2 is check-in, which is between 3 to 9 months. Assessment is phase 3, which is between months 10 and 11, 11th and 12th, and last month. Now, when it comes to phase 1 planning, what they do: review expected outcome. If an individual sales employee or office employee is given certain task, whether he would be able to complete it, are they reliable, rational, attainable? These all things are considered. Set performance objective, set development goals, establish resources needed, and identify supports and barriers to achieving goals. This is what happens between managers and employees. They decide if the goal given to them, if the target given to them for achieving in entire year is really achievable. What was previous year achievement? What was previous year's goals? How much it was been able to achieve? Whether the employee was the same who achieved these goals in previous financial or calendar year. Based on previous achievement, their goals are decided for coming financial year or calendar year objectives. Now, in phase 2, after planning, what happens? Managers and employees meet for discussion of results in first quarter, second quarter, or even in third quarter, because 3 to 9 months it is mentioned how much was the target or goal objective were achieved. Review and refine objectives. Now, why refining of objectives is necessary? It's not just that individual employee was able to or not been able to achieve. Certain factors in market are beyond control of any organization. Competitors come up with different strategies, and because of those strategies, it's quite possible that one organization is getting beaten or gained by other competing organization. Based on competitors' activity, based on market situation, based on customers' demand for individual product or services, review and refining of objective is mandatory, always required. Remove barriers to goal achievement. What all are the barriers they have? They need to be achieved. Now, the third and last phase in performance management is managers and employee meet in third phase, discuss past year's performance, set groundwork for next year's cycle, identify potential, suggest development, and determine ratings. This is what relevant to assessment in phase 3. So these all are planning and evaluation cycles. What all are the advantages of performance evaluation? It is mentioned here, performance evaluation provides us a document where employee performance for a specific period is mentioned. When I am working with my company for last 10 years and every annual year growth given by me is around 10 to 12%. At the end of 10th year, it's quite possible that my per capita per month has doubled, because if it was 2000 in year 2011, if it was around 1 lakh rupees, in year 2021 it is almost 2,25,000. What it makes? It gives us a specific period of times evaluation or performance noted. This provides a structure where manager can meet and discuss performance with an employee. Every manager should have documented performance evaluation for his subordinates, for his team members, so that he can have discussion in a fair manner. Without having specific or performance measured, a manager cannot ask his subordinate, his team members to perform beyond that particular target. They allow a manager the opportunity to provide the employee with feedback about their performance and discuss how well the employee goals were accomplished. Every individual will have one story, even if it is failure or success, what he did in actual market, how he tackled situations, how he attended clients, customers, and how he tried his best skills to convince customers for sale of their services or products. Now, these all things are discussed with manager. They provide a structured process for an employee to clarify expectations and discuss issue with their manager. When a manager is asking an employee to perform well and he is keeping some expectations, his expectations do have proportion with the performance evaluation done in past or in present. Based on those performance evaluation, he can expect. Now, India, I am giving you example here instead of explaining most of the things theoretically. India all put together, including all states, union territories, is having 500 districts. Listen carefully. This is something of interest relevant with evaluation of performance. Now, every individual district have its own potential. Within Maharashtra, Mumbai is also a district, although entire district itself is a city, but Mumbai is also considered a district out of 36. And latest one, not just latest, around 5-7 years ago, a new district was formed by dividing Thane into two parts, and Palghar is the latest district for Maharashtra, we can say. Now we cannot compare potential of Mumbai with Palghar. When it comes to India, out of 500, 100 districts do have potential. Remaining 400 are having one or the other obstacle which is existing from independence and before independence also. Now what is, I have yesterday quoted few state names like Manipur, Sikkim, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Tripura, Nagaland, Mizoram, and Himachal Pradesh. They are called as Seven Sisters. These states are as good as our one district like Pune, and they do have adverse climatic conditions, hilly regions, heavy rainfall, big barriers for transportation, whichever mode of transportation you take, for example, by road, by rail, by aeroplane, they do have big difficult task to accomplish, task to complete. And on account of adverse climatic conditions, they are having very poor potential for business. Business market as such cannot be expected from these territories. They provide a structure for thinking through and planning the upcoming year and developing employee goals. Based on past 3 years achievement of an individual employee for his respective territory, next year's plan could be made. And next year's plan may have at the most 15% to 30% growth. If an individual employee in past 1 year have shown consistent 1 lakh rupees achievement per month and 12 lakh rupees achievement for entire year, his next year plan, upcoming year goal may be max to max 15 lakh 60,000. This is what relevant to sustainable, achievable, realistic future plan. They can motivate employees if supported by a good merit increase and compensation system. This is something very important. Every individual employee is interested in performance evaluation because he is getting compensation by increase because of his performance. Based on his performance, he will be given increment, he will be given incentives, and these all factors matters a lot to him. His daily allowance, his per kilometer allowance, his ex-station allowance, everything matters to him. You must have seen these days petrol prices are increasing every day, and if a person is required to work based on his nature of job in field and he is required to travel his two-wheeler or his vehicle around 50 to 70 kilometer for sake of meeting his clients on job, he is traveling 50 to 70 kilometer every day, but his per kilometer allowance is not changed for last 2 or 3 years. 3 years ago, petrol prices were 68 rupees, and those days if he was getting 2 rupees per kilometer allowance and the same allowance he is getting today also, he won't have any motivation to travel in the field because he is putting his money in advance and later on he is claiming it. So performance evaluation has importance for an individual employee to motivate, and if supported by a good merit increase and a compensation system. Now, what disadvantages this particular performance evaluation method do have? If done right, they can create a negative. If not done right, they can create a negative experience. Performance evaluation do have fear for every other employee. Certain employees perform well in the market, in actual field, but when it comes to putting that into proper written words and filling up evaluation form, they make mistakes, and based on that evaluation form only their merit and their compensation system is designed. Performance appraisal are very time consuming and can be overwhelming to managers with many employees. They are based on human assessment and are subject to rater errors and biases. It's quite possible that one individual is not been liked by his superior, supervisor, manager, and he is having bias while he is writing feedback about him and sending it to HR department. Can be a waste of time if not done appropriately. Every person should get justice when performance evaluation is done. Whatever performance he gave without hiding single factor. It should be mentioned in performance evaluation form. How well performance evaluation form is designed by HR or by organization depends on that individual company, depends on that organization's HR team, because most of the time evaluation form is designed by HR team. And if certain things are missing in evaluation form which are required to be shown, which are the result of hard work, sincerity, knowledge and skill of an individual employee, that won't reflect into evaluation form. Now they can create a very stressful environment for everyone involved. Yeah, this is what happens with people who are involved in evaluation form. So this is the disadvantage of performance evaluation form. Now, apart from this particular performance evaluation brief introduction, today I have one important and more considered evaluation, that is performance evaluation financial parameters. If you have seen your syllabus copy, you will come to know the very first topic, performance management, is been devoted and having major portion for first topic of financial parameters. Okay, all students, when it comes to performance evaluation and financial performance evaluation parameters, any idea you can give what must be considered? Yes, please. When it comes to financial parameters, what is considered and measured? Any brief idea you can give, just in 1 or 2 sentences? Whose performance is evaluated? Employees. And when it comes to evaluation of an employee's performance, there are certain parameters. Okay. And when it comes to certain parameters, financial evaluation is one parameter. Let me make it simple. Now, when financial parameter is applied for performance evaluation, what must be considered? You all are listening to me? Huh? Hello? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, getting reply lately. Now, one parameter is financial evaluation in performance evaluation, and when this evaluation is conducted, this particular evaluation is not necessarily for an individual employee. This is conducted for entire organization, and financial evaluation plays very vital role in performance evaluation. This is one of the most important parameter. Now, what happens when performance is measured in financial terms? First thing, you must have studied in principles of management. Planning is done by top management. Based on planning, organizing and directing, means giving tasks to middle management, is done. Most of the organizing and directing do have control of both middle as well as upper management, and whatever tasks are performed in a span of one financial year, they are getting evaluated. This is what happens, and these all things are relevant with decision making. the very important function of management, work of management. Now, certain terms are used here, and they are quite common when it comes to financial parameters. I will complete as much as till 7 o'clock. And sorry, today I started a bit late because of laptop problem. Here, the term used is responsibility accounting. This is a reporting system in which a cost is charged to the lowest level of management that has responsibility for it. Responsibility accounting. What is responsibility accounting? President and CEO at the top of the organization gives tasks for vice president marketing, vice president production, vice president controller, and they do have responsibility of their individual role and to get things done from their team. A vice president marketing will ask zonal sales manager, national sales manager, and team of divisional sales manager. Again, marketing vice president along with divisional sales manager, with regional sales manager, with area sales manager, and from area sales manager to individual territories representative, they all will work in a team, and this is what relevant to responsibility accounting. Vice president production, his chain of colleagues will be lesser than that of marketing. Production head, then his subordinates, department heads, and along with department heads, his individual colleagues will be accountable for vice president production. Vice president controller, similar way, will have his team to work. Responsibility accounting means what? An accounting system that provides information. Here we are not working on debit, credit, and any amount or any particular figure in rupee value. Responsibility accounting as a term, as a financial parameter used in performance evaluation, and responsibility accounting means an accounting system that provides information where relating to the responsibilities of individual managers. That's what I have shown you in previous figure, to evaluate managers. Responsibility accounting explained in this PPT is a system that measures the results of each responsibility center. An individual manager or vice president marketing is considered as responsibility center and compares those results with some measure or expected or budgeted outcome. When an area manager with his team of 6 to 8 frontline executive, territory executive is working, that particular area manager and his team is considered as responsibility center. How much they have performed, results, compares those results with some measure and of expected or budgeted outcome. Whatever budget was given to them, if that is complete or not. A responsibility accounting system helps managers to record the plans and performances of the center for which the manager is accountable. Responsibility centers, a subunit in an organization whose manager is held accountable for specified financial results. So this is what relevant with responsibility centers. Now, what is the controllability of responsibility centers? Successful implementation of responsibility accounting depends on clear lines of authority and clearly defined levels of responsibility. Here one example is given that is BOD, Board of Directors. They are the owner, or what we say, the very base. They are at the base wherein they owe the company their past record, family background, and ownership is given to Board of Directors. A president may be a salaried employee appointed by Board of Directors, or president may be owner or partly owner of that particular organization. Vice president finance, vice president operations, vice president marketing. Now when it comes to operations, here downlink is given of store manager and department manager. Within department manager, there may be certain people who are working under department manager. So this way controllability concept is discussed. Successful implementation of responsibility accounting depends on clear lines of authority. This particular president of finance should not interfere with store manager or department manager work, although these all three departments have interdependability, but clear line of authority is given here. President will get reported by vice president of finance, of operations, of marketing, but store manager will report only to operations vice president, not vice president of marketing or vice president of finance. Now vice president of marketing again will have national sales manager, divisional sales manager, zonal sales manager, regional sales manager, area sales manager, and area sales manager will have authority or will get reported by his team members. So this is what clear lines of authority and clearly defined levels of responsibility. This is what controllability concept. Responsibility centers further elaborated as a unit or function of an organization headed by a manager who is directly responsible for its activities and performance. Vice president of marketing is directly responsible for entire country or entire territories wherein company is operating. It's quite possible for country like India with sizable portion of territories, a company is operating only in west zone or in north zone, or even for entire India. Vice president of marketing will be responsible for its results, for its sales. Responsibility centers works towards the achievement of the organizational goals. Goals are already set and they are communicated to individual vice president. Here designation given is vice president. These responsibility centers form a hierarchy. I have given you hierarchy for marketing. This hierarchical placement of the responsibility center helps the top management to ensure that the decisions made in one part of the organization are congruent with decisions made in other parts. This is I have already discussed. They are interdependable. When marketing team is doing well, availability of product or service is very important, and availability of product is based on manufacturing of product. If manufacturing is happening in proportionate quantity, availability is always in good quantity. This particular thing we can discuss with the present ongoing vaccination. At first, they started vaccination for those people who are suffering with comorbidity. That means for those who are having diabetes, blood pressure, and those all people were vaccinated as their quantity was small one, and above 60 age people were compared to entire population are too less. Then they started with 45 to 60 age. Again they did well. But since 18 plus to 45 age people of all category are needed to be vaccinated, certain parts of India is having shortfall of vaccines. It is not the failure of central government or state government. Organizations who are manufacturing, supplying, distributing, and making it available to the government are equally responsible. So this is what responsibility centers from a hierarchy. If vaccine is needed to be made, whether it is Covaxin or Covishield, that is not properly distributed. Certain portion is given to export instead of keeping it in India. These all discussions are complicated, but I will stop here. Almost 6:59. Now, if there is any doubt to be discussed, please let me know so that we can have it and we can go ahead. Is it okay, students? Whatever so far I have covered through PPT, you are following? Hello. Okay, students, bye.